Welcome to TNT, baby, the naked truth with Taylor Armstrong, where I'm going to expose everything about my life, and my guests are going to come on, get naked with me, and bear it all. Now, let's get naked. Okay, so I'm caught in an emotional conundrum. Demi, you have to help me.
God,
I dropped my daughter, my only child in the whole entire world, off at college this week, as you know. And I have exuberance and excitement, and her apartment's gorgeous. We moved everything in, and when I was leaving, I dropped her off with two of her best friends that are also going there, and they were going to go out, and it was going to be a blast. And I drove home. I was fine. 7 hours. I was great until I walked into the house. And I walked by her bedroom, and all of a sudden I just felt like a huge loss.
Right. Like it's,
I think I have to move. I truly don't know if I can live in this house.
It's just so empty.
It's so empty. And as you know, I've had live-ins Kennedy's entire life. So for 18 years, it's been my daughter, her 7 best friends, and a live-in.
Right.
Whether it's a live-in nanny or a live-in assistant, the house seems like
a ghost town.
Everything echoes. I don't even know anymore. And I think I have to move. Am I being a baby?
No, not at all. Plus, I feel like it could be just like maybe looking for a fresh start. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a whole new era for you. And maybe you just want like a whole new fresh start.
I feel like I'm having a midlife crisis.
Yeah. And as long as
fine.
As long as she can come home.
Until I saw her room. And then all of a sudden it just like broke my heart. I just was like, my baby is at college.
Officially.
And she's cooking for herself. I'm sure this won't last. Yeah. But she's doing all these grown-up tasks that I used to do for her. And I'm thinking she might not ever come back.
Oh no, she's definitely coming back. She's a mama's girl too. I think she's just independent, and I think you'll probably go through the same thing I did. Hannah didn't go away to college, but she did move away and got married. So, but just watching her like budget her own food and like take care of her family and her household, and but I'm like impressed with her every day. I'm like, oh my God. And I know it sounds so self-centered when I'm like, I did something right. Like something did right, because she's such a good mom, and she's like, you know, and all of a sudden, but I thought like, oh, how are you going to make it without me? You know, but like she totally did. It's amazing when you actually watch them just leave the nest.
It's incredible. Yeah. And Kennedy, so John, my husband, was trained by a French chef. So she's grown up with flambe peppercorn sauce, filet mignon, and twice baked potatoes. Like she's just used to having great food because John's such a great chef. So she's like, I need Montreal seasoning. I need Himalayan sea salt. I need it like for her apartment. I was like, wait, you've actually been paying attention all these years to the stuff that we cook with? Yeah. She said Montreal steak, it goes on everything. I can use it on chicken, hamburgers, and I am a little surprised because I've never seen her cook.
Yeah.
I just did a huge Costco order, a Sprouts order, but she has her own pots and pans and her own little grill. I know every single parent goes through this, but so for me, I just feel like I drove away excited.
Right.
So excited until I got home. And then I realized that she's actually gone. And I know you say they come back, but they don't come back forever.
No, I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, okay, I'll tell you a funny story. So my daughter, because she's visiting with the baby, you know, he's 4 months old. And this was like, so cute. I had an epiphany moment this week. So she's living with us for just a couple weeks. She's visiting, not living, but living and visiting, right? So she leaves on the 7th. She's like, comes down to the refrigerator, and she's opening the refrigerator, and she's like, what are all of these things? Like, what are all these things? Like, really, like, do you even use this stuff? Like, what is all this? Is it even expired? She's full on picked something up. I'm like, it's not expired. I just cleaned the refrigerator out. And what's funny is I cleaned the refrigerator out because I knew she was coming, right? Like I have like pressure like to meet the standard with my daughter for some reason, but
which we created.
It's so weird, right? It's like the total mom guilt thing. But like, so I go I go there and I'm like, well, throw it away. She's like, fine. She's like, and then she gets a garbage bag and she comes, brings it over and she's like, when did this one expire? You know, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't know, a couple months ago. She's like, 2022. And then she like throws it away. That was like probably the worst one was 2022, but she's throwing, I'm like, throw it all away, throw it all away. I don't care. It's much easier for you to throw it away than for me because, you know, I feel like condiments are something you buy because it looks like so much fun or they look cool or the packaging's neat. And then you buy these condiments and you open it and use it like one time and then throw it away. I'm not very good at condiments, but needless to say, she filled a whole bag. But halfway through, I had this epiphany that I had done the same thing to my mother. Exactly the same thing, cleaning out her refrigerator. I was like, oh my God, I started laughing. I was like, oh my God, you've become me officially. And I'm the grandma.
You're a Grammy.
I'm officially the grandma and my daughter is doing it.
Grandma.
Oh my God. I don't know.
What do they call you though? Glammy?
No, I just think grandma. Grammy.
No.
I say Grammy.
No.
I'm a cute little Grammy.
No.
I want to be a cute Grammy.
Be a Glammy.
Oh no.
Or a Jemmy.
I could be a Jemmy.
Jemmy would be.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
I could never like Granny. I couldn't handle Granny.
Funny. Why do you? Yeah, Grammy just sounds bad.
Well, unless it's a Grammy that you actually win from being in or a music. Cut that out.
Oh my God.
No, a Grammy. You win a Grammy for music.
Oh yeah, you do win a Grammy.
You're too young to win a Grammy.
Well, I like Gigi too.
Okay, but so I also feel like I was driving away thinking, is she capable? But also I know she's capable, but am I capable of living without her?
Well, yes, you're 100% capable.
I know, but I'm sad.
But it's, you know, like all the things that we don't think we'll live through, we do. It's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's just like sad. I mean, it's true. It's like your baby's gone and even though she's been independent for years because she's so independent and like knows how to take care of herself and everything, it's just having her in the house. It's your family. And then like, and then she leaves and you're like, what? And she came with a big group of friends that like were there all the time too. So it's like very quiet, not just like.
It's gotten very quiet.
Yeah.
And then we were talking earlier on another episode about long-term relationships. And so now I'm with my husband without 8 kids and an assistant and the house just bustling all the time.
No dog even.
No.
I know. It's
we've
just
got
like
nothing. And we're just like, I feel we're going through a transitional phase where we have to decide, are we going to stick with this?
Yeah.
Or were we just distracted by the kids and all the action and the cheer and all the stuff she did all these years that we are... Do we really like each other? I don't really know the answer because we've been inundated with kids and assistants. And
survival.
The house is
so many things
wild all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's silent. And I think, oh God, what now?
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, what do you do with your relationship?
Am I having a midlife crisis?
Yeah, I think this is what it is. It's the beginning.
Because I feel like I want
you feel trapped.
I want to get rid of the house.
Yeah.
100%. I want to get like a penthouse in Laguna. So I'm just looking at the ocean every day, getting a place. Like I just need to completely change my life.
Right.
But is that because Kennedy went away or did I want to do this prior and her leaving is the catalyst to make me actually do what I wanted to do all along?
It's 100% you having the mental capacity to do something different or new. And everything that it takes to change and do things like mentally. I think like you're like, okay, when you feel like your kids are settled, you feel like you have more time to concentrate on what you actually need rather than just operating in that survival mode. Like, and I don't mean like survival in a bad way, but just in that expectation every day of like that trying to exist, right? Like you never know, like, is your daughter going to call you with like, I got in a car accident, or are you going to have like a whatever happened? I don't know. When you have teenagers, especially teenagers like ours, there is something always going on, right?
Right.
And so if you already weren't like having issues like with yourself, or you're having issues with your spouse, or you're trying to figure out what you're doing, and why you're not happy, or all of these different things like internally inside of us, and then you're trying to raise teenagers, it's like very difficult to want to take on a big task or change your life dramatically. Like, I know that that's for me. Sometimes some of the reasons we're still together. I mean, we broke up multiple times, my husband and I, over the years, and before we even got married. But I remember thinking that same thing. Like, I don't want to make any big decisions right now. Like, I'm not okay right now to be able to handle or make any big decisions that are massively life altering. So it's like selling your house. That's kind of a big deal. What do you do with all your things? Like, where do you have to put them? It's just something to deal with. It's going to take up a lot of time. So it's like, I think you had to, before you could even address any of these other things, you had to wait until she was like settled somewhere. So you knew what was happening with her, so that you knew what was happening with yourself. Because you can't address any of those things when you're still just in life, like trying to go.
And I think the day I drove away, I had to drive back 7 hours. And I was driving and thinking, this is a time for change for me.
Right.
And I don't know what that change looks like, but what I know is that my life has been so focused around my child for for 18 years.
Yeah.
And although I've always had help and everything, and I've worked, I still feel like she's gone. And so I get to decide what the next chapter of my life looks like. And that's a daunting task also.
Yes.
I mean, you and I have huge projects we're working on with women's empowerment, but do I want to live in like a sexy condo in Miami? Do I want to live?
Yeah,
like, I don't even know.
You're like, where do you picture yourself?
I just go to like, I don't know, like Ibiza for like a month and just sit and think about what I want to do next, because my entire focus has been my child for so long.
Yeah.
That I need to figure out who I am.
Yeah. Again. Who you are, what you're doing, what does the next whatever years look like? Like, do you want to be single? Do you want to be married? Do you want to be, looking for somebody else? Do you want to just be enjoying your process? Whatever you want to do. What's the next project? The thing is like your main purpose has gone on to find its own purpose, right?
I'm gonna cry.
And so it's like, that's like, what do you do all of a sudden? What's the purpose of my life now, right? And you need to find that. And if it does mean going and sitting somewhere alone without your husband, without anybody, and thinking like, am I firing all the cylinders I want to be firing on? Like, do I feel old enough? Like sometimes I feel too old. Like sometimes I just feel like, do I really want to start a big project? Like, do I want to do that? And other days I'm like, yeah, I'm going after this. Like, it doesn't matter, And so you have to decide who you want to be. Otherwise, life just kind of keeps going and leaves you behind.
But I don't want life to tell me who I'm going to be.
Absolutely.
I want to decide what my life is going to be based on my love. Yes. And you know that I've wanted to have my own bed and breakfast for many, many years. And now I've thought of it for so long. And then now she's gone. I know she's not, I'm going to cry. Really but anyway, I now have the freedom to say, okay, that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
So go do it.
You can do it.
Because you've always felt as though Kennedy's cheer and Kennedy's school and Kennedy needs me and I can't go have a bed and breakfast in the Caribbean. But guess what? Now I can.
Yeah.
And so is that what I want to do? Now I feel like I'm getting in the way of my own dreams.
Oh my gosh. Oh, because now you're like, I don't know. What do I want to do?
Am I brave enough to take that on?
That's the thing. So I think that's where the self-doubt comes in and all of these other things and fear and everything that holds us back from being great, right? Is that question, like, am I brave enough to take it on? Do I have the energy to take it on? Do I have the wherewithal to take it on? Like, how many years am I investing in this? Like, we know we have to think about these questions now.
And what if I fail?
Yeah. And what if I fail? Then where am I at?
And I finally attack it and then I fail and then I'm going to hate myself. So fear of failure fear of failure is a big problem with people that have self-esteem.
Yes. I think that like, no matter what you do, there wouldn't be anything that came out of it that would really qualify as true failure. Honestly, I don't believe in failure unless you're failing other people. I think you can fail people, but not really like fail when you're attempting a goal. Like, I mean, so many people don't even try. Like, how are you failing if you're trying? Right? Like how? Like it's to sit there and use the fear of failure as an excuse for not trying. That in itself is definitely failure. Like,
well, that's 100%.
yeah, you owe it to yourself every time to try.
Because if you don't ask, then the answer's already no.
Absolutely. It's always no, right?
Right. I wrote a couple scripts and I have a good friend who's an amazing producer. And I said, I'm nervous to send these scripts out. And he said, well, then you already have a no.
Yeah. Exactly. You have to try.
You have to try and you have to take a risk.
Yeah. And what's going to happen if you don't? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
It's like, it's really interesting. Like, even when you go to like a bad networking meeting or a bad event or something, like at least you put yourself in the room. And I don't know, but like anything really cool that's ever happened to me is from being in a room with people that I just met there. And so you have to show up, right? But if you're at home and you're like, oh, nobody's going to like me, or I'm not going to go try that, or what if I like what if nobody says hi to me? What if I don't know where to park? Like all the crazy things that go through your head when you have to go somewhere, when you're invited somewhere you're not comfortable. You have to push yourself into going because of whatever could happen. So like, I think like opening a bed and breakfast, like what, even if it didn't turn into a lifelong thing that you wanted to do forever, worst case scenario, you have 2 really fabulous years, meet probably hundreds knowing you, amazing people. Okay, probably write a book about it and then just rent it out to somebody else and go do something else. You know what I mean?
I think part of being, I don't love the term empty nester because I'm out all the time. I have a huge social life.
Yeah, you
so
don't
I'm
seem
not
like an empty
I'm
nester.
just like sitting at home, like pining over the fact that Kennedy's gone. None of that's happening, right? My life is still super vibrant and I'm super busy. But at the same time, I feel like it's given me this incredible amount of freedom that I don't know how to use.
Yes, that's what it is.
I go, wait. It's like having a parent who watches over you in some weird way.
Yeah.
Or when you take your baby home from the hospital and you think, are they actually letting me leave with this baby? That's how I feel, is that I have so much freedom now that I don't know what to do with myself.
It's crazy.
I have no parental responsibilities. I mean, she's in college. She's happy. She's healthy. She's great. She's thriving. She has tons of friends. And now I'm thinking, wait, what do I do now? I don't know. Did you feel that way when Hannah went away?
I still feel that way. Like, I honestly still feel that way. That's part of the reason we ended up starting the show together, right? Like, oh my God, I've got all this time. Like, had she not already left, I would not have been able to do this. Like, because she just consumes so much of my energy. I think it's more energy than it is like time and stuff too, especially with some daughters. Like, she just took a lot of my energy. So then, and not that it was bad. I love her and I always want her to call me and everything. But just, it takes a lot of energy to maintain the relationship and to worry about what's happening in someone else's life all the time. And so now all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like, is this when people go to yoga? Like, is this like all my friends that have time to go to classes and stuff? I'm like, is this what they were talking about? Because like I could like sign up for a class and actually go there.
I feel like I want to do something super crazy, like go someplace totally brand new and just like have an experience. If it's a month in Tuscany, like under the Tuscans.
Yes.
Just something bizarre.
That's what is 100% necessary. I think that could be fabulous.
I think so.
Maybe just do it like every 3rd month or something.
We could just film the show all over the world.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you were like, oh, like, let's do the bus tour. I'm like, yes, like we'll just get a huge bus and just go stop places and talk to interesting, cool people. That would be my dream. Because like, I think people are so amazing and like just the way people think differently and they're subjected to different things. So they have different thought processes like all across America would be like pretty awesome.
But don't you actually think that at the end of the day, we really want the foundation of the same thing? Yes. Despite wealth, geography, everything. We all just want to be loved and appreciated and to give love and to be good people.
And to feel stable and have basic needs met, like housing, food, clothing. Health. Yeah, health. Like those are, I mean, it's everybody. It doesn't matter where you are. Like those are the basic things. Everyone wants to be okay. They want their families to be okay. They want the people they love to be okay. I mean, and if you're a good person, you even want your enemies to be okay. It's like, you know, like it's like, I just think we like overcomplicate everything.
We do. But at the same time, I think that we should do the bus tour. Yeah. But I also think we should go to like Tuscany for maybe a month. Just
I would
hang out.
love to see how they live in Tuscany, darling.
They
Just
do.
kidding.
They have swans.
I know, and more than 2.
You have to have 4.
Yes,
have 3.
4. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
I don't know. So when I was dropping Kennedy off, it was really interesting. And I was doing a lot of self-reflection on my 7-hour drive back as to why I didn't feel sad leaving her there. And my heart said I should feel sad. Like other moms would be crying, I guess.
Yeah.
But I just thought, I'm so happy for her for this next chapter of life. She's a beautiful apartment. She's safe. She's secure. And I didn't feel sad. I just felt happy. And is that wrong?
No,
Should
I think it's awesome. No, I think it's totally awesome because you accomplished this goal that you'd been working towards. You know what I mean? And I know that's the thing, but it's like you're proud of it. And so I think that that's totally normal and healthy to be proud of it. Like, yeah, she's totally set up. You have her totally set up, taken care of, and feeling safe and secure. And just me knowing you, that I know that all you want for anyone is to feel safe and secure. So that's why I think you were probably just like, we did it.
We did it.
You got it. You got your apartment. You got to college. Like, oh my God, it actually happened. Yes.
Yeah. Pots and pans and dishes. And she's so funny because the first night she cooked for herself and I had Costco and Sprouts and stuff delivered through Instacart. So she has her own food. And I'm thinking she's actually never going to cook. This is hysterical because she's the queen of DoorDash.
Yes.
And she's cooking for herself. And I think it's this interesting rite of passage where she's thinking, I'm a grown up. And she's watched her father cook, John cook since she was 5-6 years old and make these amazing meals. And now she's trying to make her own way with her little chef skills. And it's cute.
I love it. I know. I had the same epiphany with my daughter in the cooking. Like cooking for her family and making cakes for the neighbors. And and you're like, this is the girl who was ordering Jamba Juice in the morning and, CPK at night, like on DoorDash or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And you're like totally baking. She's like baking.
She is like actually into
doing all the things. Yes. She's like, loves baking.
But maybe they were watching us more than we thought over the years.
They 100% are watching you. It was so funny. I have to tell you a funny story really quickly is you don't realize that like kids are paying attention. Like, I think the biggest problem that we make is like totally dismissing children, right? Like they don't know. They're literally little brains running around, right? And it's so funny. So my godson, he's 3. And my friend was over and he's running around and I'm talking about how cool it must be to grow up in Newport Beach because they were like, it's lifeguard season. Everybody knows this is the season to apply to be lifeguard, right? For the summer. Like what could be a cooler job as a teenager than being like a lifeguard in Laguna Beach or Newport Beach? Like,
I want to be one now. Maybe that's my midlife crisis.
I thought this is amazing. So I'm talking about the lifeguards. And Declan's running around like a psychopath. Like we can't even, the kid's just all over the place, right? He's like not paying attention. Like a minute later, he comes up with his Hot Wheels toy and he's like, it's a lifeguard truck. It's a lifeguard truck.
Cute.
So he heard the whole conversation that I was having, even though he was running around, even though he was doing whatever, he was fully paying attention to what I was saying and came up with that lifeguard truck later. And I literally stopped everyone in the room and I'm like, let's all take this as a lesson and proof that they are listening. They know what's going on. They know how to manipulate.
But so how old, not to take the cute lifeguard, but how old was Hannah when your husband passed?
6.
So same.
6. It was her 6th
5.
birthday. So it was a couple days before her birthday.
Kennedy was 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
When they're that same age.
And I thought Kennedy didn't remember anything. And then as life progressed, I realized that she remembers so much.
Really?
It's horrible to know that she did, but because we had live-in help, I just thought they always took her away at the right moments and that she wouldn't actually have those memories. That when she was applying for college, she wrote her essay about the fact that she wants to be a child psychologist because the child psychiatrist, actually, Dr. Carly Sophie, who helped us through everything that we went through with suicide and the abuse and everything, she said he changed my life.
Yeah.
And so that's the path that she's chosen for her career.
I love it.
I love it too. I mean,
know.
but it hurt my heart at the same time to know that she felt like she needed him so badly.
Yeah.
And that he did change her life. And he's one of my very closest friends. And so thankful for that. But her going away to college and saying that to me it was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
But recognizing that she needed to have that support, I think that she's such a really strong adult now, which is weird to say, that she would know when to ask for support and when she needs something at school. And so I guess that's really good that another calming thing that when I dropped her off, I thought she's equipped. She knows what she's doing. She's strong and she's not reliant on others. And she's just a kick-ass kid.
And you trust her. Yeah. The cool part is you trust her.
100%.
Yeah.
And the only thing I would say is that, moms and daughters, obviously, we have our things. And so she was getting a new insurance card for her car.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to her, you need to put this in your car. And she said, Mom, I already have an insurance card. I don't need this. And so she gets pulled over and she gave him her Blue Cross.
Oh, yeah. That was funny. You told that story. That was so funny.
Because she's so stubborn.
Yes.
And she's just like, I already have an insurance card. It's like, it's not car and health. Okay.
Right. So you need separate ones.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these girls.
She's bullheaded, but that's good, right?
Yes, I think it's good. So what's going to be the next step? Bed and breakfast or?
I think, I'm looking at 3 properties, as you know, and I'm pretty excited because it's going to be an awesome thing for Empowered Experts. And we're going to do some big really cool things, big projects. But I have to stay focused and not think about missing my child. And I think I should move. Should I move?
I mean, I feel like, okay, listen, but I'm a Gemini too, and I'm all about starting over, apparently. I just like to be like, that was fun. Let's start over. Okay, like maybe, yeah. So I like a good start over or a good comeback.
I think we should do the comeback.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we're going to go look at some new places for me and some hotels because I'm ready. I need a bed and breakfast and I need a new place to live so I don't have to walk by my daughter's room anymore.
I feel like that's a perfect answer.
We should buy a bar.
Oh my God. Well, the hotel has a bar. Right?
Oh,
it has to, right?
No, we need a hotel with a bar.
It has to have a fabulous bar because, what else are you going to do for your Instagram shots? Literally, you have to have it. It has to be fabulous.
I know. Okay, so what am I going to do? My daughter's all grown up. I'm having a midlife crisis. We have to do something.
Yeah, let's do it. I got it.
Let's
do it. Yeah.
Empowered Experts.
We're going to empower you.
Empower me. Let's empower other people.
That's what I meant.
Because that'll give me
the slag line.
Gratification. I empower other people will make me feel happy.
That's the whole thing, is to empower other people. It's like, I think that was the whole thing between Empowered Experts. It's like, one, when you've already lived through something for 10 years or more, that's the number. You have to be an expert in your field for 10 years or more. Then what you have to say is legitimate. That's pretty much it. Like, you've worked and focused on one thing, then you pretty much know what you're talking about. Like, I think it's a good way to keep some of the noise away online, because there's so many people educating other people on things that they actually haven't lived through, survived through, learned through, right? So you're taking courses, you're learning things, but I don't want an empowered expert will never be somebody who's just chat GPTing their way through anything. You have to have actually lived through it so that you can validate the information, right? So, and then help other people with that same problem, because there's so many things.
We're resilient.
Yes.
And boundaries and all the things we've talked about, how to grow your own business,
keep going.
Market your own business,
and motivate other people feel supported that don't feel supported. Like so many business owners. Okay, first of all, most people have like 1, 2, 3 jobs. They have like a job and then they have all these side incomes, or they're doing something online, or they're trying to get out of corporate America. Like at this point, I feel like everybody has some side hustle or something going on, right? And so I feel like they need the information. There's so many possibilities. We're in a complete golden era right now where 10 years from now, 20 years from now, people will look back and be like, oh my God, money was so accessible. You could make money online. You can sell things. You can do things. Like they're gonna be like, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it? Just like how we might look back and be like, why didn't we invest in Bitcoin when it first started? Like, why did we not, I don't know, buy 30 properties, in 1999, right? Because we didn't know. Like you can speculate, but like, let's just look at the trends of the times. Like what's available to us right now is not going to be available in the same way that it's available right now. And it's definitely not going to be free. You're going to have to pay for all this information. Like you have the whole history of the world and everything everybody's created online. And with AI can completely harness all that information in less than a minute. I mean, it's insane what's actually possible. Like I'm just sitting here trying to figure out how to grasp a piece of it for myself, and it's like, that's what I love is that you can take what you learned, help other people, create a product that actually helps other people. Why not learn from somebody who's already been through it? Whatever your question is, whether it's relationship questions, whether it's how do I start a pizza company? How do I make money online? How do I put a baseline foundation together for a CRM? Like having experts in all these different fields of things they want to do, because people are watching people rise to the top right now. And they're like, how do I do that?
That's why Empowered Experts, I'm so excited about it. And it's going to be huge. I already know. Yeah. Because we are building each other up as opposed to tearing each other down.
That's the whole thing. Like just build, build, build. It's all about sharing the love, sharing the information, right? And I love that. That's what we love. Is I think we both just want to help people find the tools, utilize the tools, figure out what works for them so that they can make more money, be successful, and then give more back to the world, right? Like it's really a simple formula. I don't know why we have such a hard time with it as a society. Like we get so caught up on all these things and thoughts and opinions and whatever, but the truth of all of it is like, be kind, put other people first. Yes, you need self-love, but also self-love is also putting other people first too. Like it's just interesting. I feel like everything I have in the world is because I gave everything I have. Like you have to just keep giving back, and it all keeps coming. Yes, it just keeps coming around and around.
That's the way the world works. You give and you get.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of.
You can't be over there hoarding all your nuts. Like you have to have faith. You have to share your nuts and have faith that somehow it's going to come back to you, right? Like you can't be scared to give everything away.
But that's what Empowered Experts.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about helping people.
Growth. Everyone grows.
Yes.
But when we all come together, everything grows faster and better anyway.
Yeah. It's just so crazy because there's always one crazy person and they're poisoning the pond. And you got to get rid of that person right away.
We don't need the pond poisoner. The pond poisoner is fired.
You got all these motivated people and then somebody comes on board and they start trying to gossip and put rumors over here and say things over there. And you have to just shut down to all of that. So if you have a negative person or you're creating something powerful and somebody negative comes into the mix, you don't need to tell them how they need to be or take any action. You just have to let what they do kind of flow through you and just don't take any action on it. You know what I mean? Don't let it get to you.
But toxic because they're toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic.
You can't take anything seriously when somebody's toxic. So if you just don't do that, that's lesson number 1. Then you can all just be empowered at the same time.
But Empowered Experts is going to be so fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait for everyone to see what we're about to do.
What we're putting
It's
together.
going to happen within the next 6 months.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We're about to break some barriers on the empowerment